up, everybody? Welcome back to the Thruline podcast. In case you've noticed, that's a light, that's a light, that's a light, that's a light, that's a light. That's 5 lights, and then I have a salt crystal lamp as well. If you're not watching, just know that there are lights here. And guess what? We got to keep them on. I've heard some of you comment like, I don't like this new format when there's an ad read once in a while. Guess what? Every now and then there's going to be an ad read because we got to keep the lights on. And like I've said to people who've commented on YouTube, like, I don't like to have to listen to it. What do you, 3 minutes? 3 minutes? Not to mention, I'll tell you this right now. There have been past advertisers that when they came on board, I was like, oh man, I'm going to use that. So that might be you, okay? And this week, I'm pretty excited to have on Lightstream is sponsoring the podcast this week. Let me ask you this. What if you could combine all of your credit card balances into one low fixed monthly payment? Now, I don't know about you guys, but I had credit card debt for a long time, and I had multiple. And if you're younger and you got out of college, you probably do as well. To have them all in one place, great and easy because of Lightstream. Get a fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan for as low as 5.95 APR with autopay. That's another thing. It's going to just be set up. You have it. You can pay off your credit card balances and save thousands in interest. Get a loan from $5,000 to $100,000 with absolutely no fees. The application is 100% online, so you can just go on lightstream.com and go fill it out and then get your money as soon as the day you apply. Lightstream believes that when you have good credit, you deserve a low rate and great service, and that's exactly what they deliver. I think this is one thing that, especially in podcasting, the thing with podcasting is it cuts out the middleman. You know what I mean? There's no middlemen in podcasting. That's why so many of the people that advertise on podcasting is cutting out the middleman, and this is what these guys are trying to do. They're trying to find a way that you can get a lower payback rate, get money, keep your credit, and not get totally hosed over. It's the same thing with if you're buying golf balls online, okay? So something to think about if you have credit card debt that you want to consolidate. For just my listeners right now, apply to get additional interest rate discounts to save even more money than what they're already offering you. Only way to get this discount is to go to lightstream.com, Lightstream, lightstream.com/Thruline, baby. Not Thruline, baby, Thruline. Lightstream.com/Thruline. It's as easy as that. It's as easy as that. Some of it's subject to credit approval. Rates include 0.50% autopay discount, which is nice. If you set up your autopay, you're getting a little extra discount on that. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/Thruline for more information. Glad to have them on board. They're going to save you money, and they're helping me save money over here so that I can continue to bring you this free podcast. Lightstream.com/Thruline. Sam Morril, everybody, joining us.
Are we on the show already?
You're on the show, dude.
Nice, all right.
I mean, the audience hasn't filled in yet, but
cool, man. I live Upper West Side.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, tight. Well, real quick, social media handle, because you have a special out on YouTube right now.
Yeah, it's the special is called I Got This. You can get it standup.com/Sam Morril, MORRIL, or you can just go to my website. It's on there. I put it everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Got to put it everywhere.
How did that work out? Because Comedy Central, the whole knock on them has been like, oh, they don't stream anything. And then I saw that you were doing this. I'm like, YouTube, and I'm like, oh, that's great. Sam's putting this out. And then I saw Comedy Central was doing it with you. What was the whole thing behind that?
I did my last two with them. I did a half hour and an hour, and just God knows where the hell you could find that stuff. So it was a whole negotiation thing on my last one. I was aware that it was hard to watch. My buddy Mark Normand was like, it did nothing for me, so he was pretty pissed. But it was a lot of money, and I didn't have any other options. And Amy Schumer produced my last one. I was flattered. She was so helpful and cool, and so I was like, we're doing it. And also, my last one looked amazing. It looked so nice.
I'm sure, yeah.
So
can you at least cut those up and put clips out?
No, but I've been doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And they appeal it. I mean, they pull them down, but I appeal it, and I put up the clips anyway, so it works out.
It doesn't make it. You just want to be like, guys, what do you? This is just like advertisement for you. What is the holdup?
Exactly. Well, anyway, I told them like I want the whole thing free on your website too, and they said all right. It was like a whole fight. They were like, all right, fine, we'll do it for like 3 months or something. They made a huge deal about it.
Yeah.
And then it's up there, but there's an ad every 3 minutes, and I'm like, who is gonna watch this?
Yeah.
I'm competing against the greatest comics in the world here. You think like if you can watch a Chappelle special with no ads, you think you're gonna watch a Sam Morril special with an ad every 3
Totally.
fucking minutes?
Yeah.
It's brutal. So it was a huge negotiation this time where I was like, look, you can pay me so much less. I just need the eyeballs. I just want the eyeballs. And I've noticed how much like clipping up stand-up clips will help you. So
Yeah.
not as much as they used to because everyone's doing it now. But I noticed at the time they had a show called This Week of the Cellar, and I would clip up the jokes, and they would get me a lot of new followers on social media, and people would like them because they were topical and they were burned. So who cares? But then they didn't do it, and I was like, "You guys should be doing this."
Yeah.
And they made it a whole thing about to give me the clips, and I said, "No, this is good for your show.
Yeah.
These are topical jokes."
So crazy, dude.
So then they hired someone to do it for season 2, but in season 1, I was the one like nagging them to get the clips.
It's so funny because like everybody knows Andrew Schultz.
He's the one.
He crushed it.
But what he did is more impressive than what I did. I mean, what he did is like his YouTube channel blew up. You know, he did it like he did it self-made, whereas I sold it to Comedy Central. Like I'm still going through a network.
Right.
It's just they have a lot of followers,
Either
so that's
way,
why I did it. Yeah.
What I'm saying is this is how sometimes backwards the industry can be that people don't know about.
Yeah.
Is Schultz did that, right?
Yeah.
And blew up. And then my agent said to me, he's like, I think the next one, if you want, because I said to him, like, I'm going to put out another special. I put one out on my own, and I sold it initially, and then after a year and a half, I made it free, and it's been up for 3 months for free. We're like at 260,000 views, something
That's
like that.
huge. Though.
Yeah, it's
and
been great.
It's on your channel?
On my channel.
See, that's almost like I look at that, I'm like, that might be better because you do it that way, and all those people are subscribing to your channel for more, so now you're in complete
My
creative
subscribership,
control.
like, it doubled since I've put it up.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So I told my agent, I'm like, I think I'm going to do another one because I'm going to record an album anyway. Why not just shoot it and I can do it in a like when I shot the special that's up there, I shot it like in attempt to sell it to Netflix, so it cost me a lot of money. Now, if I don't look at like, it doesn't have to be in 4K, it doesn't have to be a huge venue, it doesn't, you know what I mean? I can do it simple. Yours is very simple, you know?
Well, here's what's annoying. I shot it in 4K, and Comedy Central for some reason uploaded it in a lesser quality in 1080. So I'm like, hey man,
1080p sounds like something that we talked about 15 years ago.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed off. I had friends be like, yeah, you know, it's pretty simple looking. I was like, well, it looked better when it was 4K.
What I meant simple is the majority of it is that straight on cam.
Well, that's what I wanted because originally in the first cut it was a lot more profile shots, and I just was like, let's look. People just want to see the material. These are jokes that are like, I don't need it. I feel like the most artsy looking specials a lot of the time are people that sometimes they're great, but sometimes they don't have jokes.
Yeah.
Like,
well, first of all, let's take it easy on those guys that don't have jokes. You know what I mean?
No, dude, you're like a storyteller with jokes. Like every time I've seen you.
That.
No. First time I saw you, I think was I didn't know you yet. I was just in the back of a bookstore room, in I think like Tribeca or something.
I know that one.
You know that one?
It's like that big. It's like a big bookstore, like or a high ceiling with like the windows behind the stage.
This has got to be like close to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was in the back of the room with my buddy Mark Norman. We were watching you, and Mark and I were both laughing. And Mark's like, he's like a storyteller. He said he's like a storyteller with jokes.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that because so often like I'll have a story and I'm like, man, there's got to be jokes inside it. And I watch dudes like you. It's funny because I watch guys like you, Mark, obviously a great joke writer. Comics that are like joke writers, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, look at that. It's not always something that happened to them, or you guys, but you come up with these amazing viewpoints and like jokes inside jokes, and I'm like, oh, man, I can't do that shit. So I appreciate it because every
I
time I have a
remember
story.
how to do it. Like I've done enough podcasts when I've been out here where like I haven't written a joke in like days, and I just all the travel starts to get to me on the road.
Yeah.
Like I need hour-long sets, or I forget how to write jokes.
Yeah, I bet.
I need the road.
Well, we all do, man.
Yeah.
That's the only that's like my biggest hang up is you got to be on the road to be a better comic. And the last thing I want is to be on the road. I just like to be home and like
You got
be with my
family,
kids.
yeah.
But what was I going to say? So like Schultz, right? So I tell my agent, I'm like, yeah, I want to make this special, and I'm just going to like put it out there. And he's like, he goes, I think you should maybe do what Schultz did. Like, think about what Andrew Schultz did. And I don't know how to explain to him, like, you understand, we are the ground soldiers. We're the foot soldiers, right? We're on the ground. We're seeing everything. Schultz put that out. He became a general.
Right.
But we know the general. You guys think you're general. You haven't even talked to him. I know. And have you watched his material? There's a reason Schultz blew up. It's because his material is fresh, it's progressive, and it pushes boundaries.
Right.
That's what blows up on the internet.
Right.
When you're a dad and I'm telling stories, whether I'm pushing the limit
I
or
don't know.
not.
I think there's a market. I think it's all about, Andrew will write like a provocative title in the bit, and I think that will get eyeballs because and that's a good way to introduce people. But I think there's also an audience for dads. I mean, like Tom Papa has an audience. He's doing.
No, what I'm saying is, if you're going to take the model that Andrew Schultz created and just think now because one guy created that it fits everyone.
You got to be provocative with your titles. You got to be like, fuck my kids in the title bar.
Dude,
and then just do a regular joke about liking your kids.
Dude, I put one on the other day about embarrassing my kid. I'm like, it's titled "Embarrass Your Kids."
Yeah.
It's not like it exploded. But either way, what I'm saying
I
is
just
like
think the clips don't do as well now that everyone's doing it. I think you got to
I
find
agree.
the next thing. I think for a while that was, and I'm still going to do it because it still helps.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to drive traffic to my special now at this point.
Yeah, well, that's good. You got to check it out.
Thank you.
And
man.
what's and you're what on social media? Just Sam Morril across the board.
Morril, Sam Morril, Instagram, Twitter, and all that shit.
Where'd you grow up?
In New York City.
In the city?
I grew up in the city.
Where?
Originally Chelsea, then Upper East Side, and then I left for like a year and a half. I went to school at Tulane, and then
Tulane. My buddy went there.
Katrina hit, and I came back.
You bitched out.
Well, it's hard to complain about. The comedy scene not being rocking after people lost their homes.
I know, dude.
Like there's only one open mic, and they're like, "Yeah, we're still wet, dude."
Seriously,
like, you gotta pick your battles.
I don't know who I was talking to recently, but they told me they were just there, and they said that the levee is like, the water is high. Like they haven't done. They just moved out of there, and they told me that the sanitation board is like the sketchiest, shadiest group of people, and they haven't cleaned anything, and the water level is like rising again.
New Orleans is maybe the most corrupt American
More
city.
than Jersey?
I don't know. I don't know enough about but like I remember just like the mayor. There was so many sketchy things. I forget if it was a mayor or like a governor there or someone, but it was someone. He's got to be in his 80s. Who was like just playing like poker games and like get shit faced. And I was like, this is like a Sopranos character. This isn't like what you expect.
Yeah.
I don't know. People obviously politicians are corrupt. But you don't expect it to be like openly.
Yeah. Well, like that dude
bags.
who was the mayor of Detroit.
Right. What was
Fitzpatrick or something like that. I read a book about him, and I was like, this is crazy,
Right.
dude. But then you're like, yeah, what do you think they're doing? They all get into politics to pull strings, and that's what they do.
And power. I mean, it's not like you get in it for the money unless maybe you get speaking engagement money when you're out.
Or you're taking cash.
Right.
Obviously, they're keeping all the money from the sanitation. That's what they're doing in New Orleans right now.
Yeah,
this is what someone
it's
told me.
so weird. I remember I went to a therapist there in the 9th Ward. It was like right by like the water and everything.
What are you, fucking Hemingway? I went to a therapist in the 9th Ward.
But he was a great guy. He was really a cool dude. He really was like, he just bled New Orleans. He was like I'll never move here. I'll never move from here. And the hospital, it was in a hospital where I'd go to meet him, and it was just empty. It looked like fucking like Shutter Island or something. It was crazy,
dude. Yeah, that's freaky.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. He was weird because he was like kind of mean, but I don't know, maybe like I needed it at the time. I don't know. Like I remember what was like the first time I ever talked about like I had a bad relationship with my biological father, and it's like it was the first kind of time I talked to someone about it. I was dating a girl at the time who,
This was in college?
yeah,
Dude, see, this is how old are you?
I'm 33.
33. Jesus Christ. This is the difference. This is like the generational difference between us.
Yeah.
So I'm 10 years older than you. Is that for me, therapy didn't become something that you like considered until I was in my 20s and I was in LA away from everybody at home.
I think my parents kind of pushed it on me weirdly.
Yeah,
You
but
know-
that's they're younger. I mean, my mom had us in therapy when my parents split.
Yeah.
So like we used to have to go play in a room and like people observed us through like two-sided mirrors and shit.
yeah.
And I was like, ma, like, so I don't know if therapy was like a thing that we were just like whatevs. But then I got to LA and I was like, I think I need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I think so he was kind of like I was dating a girl who both her parents were psychiatrists, and they would just
Hilarious.
analyze the hell out of me at the dinner table.
Oh
They were
my
rough.
God.
They would be like, "Well, this is because you never met your biological father," and I'd be like, "Can we just have a fucking meal? Like, can we
Guys,
just?"
we haven't even had the apps. What's going
Yeah,
on?
it was rough. And then I remember she sucked. She would do fights where she would do stuff like we'd be arguing and she'd say things like, "Who are you really yelling at?" And I'd be like, "Come on, that's not cool. That's such a hack."
But it's kind of awesome that
It's-
she said that. You know what I mean?
But she said it just with complete seriousness. There was no sense of like maybe this is kind of funny that I'm saying. She was like, "Who are you really yelling at?"
I will tell you this right now. I've never been in a fist fight, but I would much rather fist fight a bare knuckle boxer than get into a verbal fight
Me
with
too.
a woman who is pissed.
I have a bit now talking about like
Oh.
how I feel. I hate when older people are like make fun of kids for cyberbullying because I would much rather have the shit kicked out of me than be psychologically tormented. But the bit is basically say like, what would you rather get, a wedgie or catfished? You know, like because a black eye will heal. You know, it won't heal. Taking a hopeful greyhound to Syracuse and being like, I thought you would be a woman.
Yeah,
This sucks.
totally.
Worst
dude.
13th birthday ever. But yeah, man, it's it was rough. And then I was talking to the therapist in New Orleans. It was like creepy. The office. I was always there was like this massive hospital and there was like 4 people in it at all times. It was so
Because
weird.
it was after Katrina?
Yeah.
You would think it would have been flooded with people that needed to talk to
Nice
someone.
play on words right there.
I didn't even do it. See, my writing's just innate. You know what I mean?
This place is flooded.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I just I would be a little creeped out, but then I remember going in there and being like, he would kind of shit on me for it. I remember.
Like, what would he say? In my life, I've had 1, 2, 3, 5 therapists.
Yeah, I've probably had about that many.
Never
too.
had one shit on me.
He was.
I've
like
had
a
ones
ball
like give
buster.
tough love, like not tough love, but like be direct and say stuff like, like just be like upfront about stuff,
He
know?
made fun of me. Like I remember I was talking about it once, and he goes, "You and mommy against the world." I was like, "Dude, I'm being open about it. Like, why are you talking to me like that?"
I love this dude.
And then it was. In retrospect, it's hilarious. He was actually a funny guy.
yeah.
But I was like, well, first off, that's not true. It was like only a few years. I mean, I got like, my mom met a guy who raised me and was my stepdad, and I just call him dad. He's a great dad, and so I really lucked out, But
Yeah.
the way he said it is like, it's pretty. I was like, yeah, that's a little fucked up for an 18-year-old to hear, probably.
You just like walk in the office like, all right, I'll call you back. My bitch client's here. Yeah.
Yeah, he makes me wear a gimp suit. He's like, here, throw this ball
Throw
in your
this
mouth.
in. Dude, I mean, I'm not saying this is the guy, but I've heard cases of people that are like, you go to a therapist and you're so vulnerable that you have to like trust them to like, you have to trust that they're going to like care for you mentally and not take advantage, because some people can get taken advantage of.
Yeah. When that'd be like the new rom-com right there. Like maybe a woman, and he's like the guy's like kind of like Secretary with
Yeah.
James Spader, but you do a therapist, so it's even more inappropriate.
Yeah.
That could be a good.
I mean, I got
like
the laptop right there.
A hot dark rom-com right there.
Let's open up Final Draft and
Kind of sexy. Because she's opening up, and he's like take off your pants.
yeah.
That'd be kind of a hot.
But it empowers. Maybe you got to flip the roles. I mean, it's 2020.
You're right.
You know what
You're
I mean?
right.
It's
Fuck, that's a good
2020, bro.
point. The woman, yeah, and maybe she's like a little older, so you have that mommy thing.
Yeah.
Makes it extra fucked up. You ever do? I'll make joke. I made a joke about that on the road once about like how therapists are always like, it's like day one in therapy, like, oh, you're maybe it's your mother, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And people get so uncomfortable when I make jokes out of that in the road. I don't know why that is. Like, it's not it's like, that's Freud. That's like day one in therapy, and people were like, that's not true.
I mean, let's be honest. I don't know if like accepting therapy. Like I said, I wasn't accepting of therapy till I left Boston. You know what I mean? Okay,
that's a good sketch right there.
Yeah.
The guy who leaves Boston and comes back and is like,
guys, I gotta tell you, I've been really opening up to my therapist. Like, you fucking what? What did you say? But like,
yeah,
dude, I still have friends to this day. Like, if I brought up therapy to them, this would be their reaction. Just tell me you started going to therapy.
So I started going to therapy.
Cool, yeah. Yeah. They have no idea to like how to talk about it.
But I just feel like like that as a fact. I was like, yeah, it's like, I mean, I don't know religion, but I know the basic obvious stories in it, you know?
Yeah, but people love to believe in religion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't want to believe that you go to some person and you tell them you're put it this way, don't you think we'd have a better world if more people go into therapy? I have a philosophy that every single human being needs to go to therapy. Not because you might be fucked up, because if everyone just got 1 hour a week to talk to someone that had to listen, don't you think you'd have less people yapping your ear off?
I'd have less chatty Uber drivers on my way over here.
This is what
I'm doing fucking podcast after podcast to promote this special, and then in between I get an Uber driver. They're like, "So, where are you from?" I'm like, "Well, I'm from I'm like throwing jokes, and well, I'm from New York City, and you know, the city that never sleeps." Like, right? And we're like,
no,
no, we're not. no, we're not. But like, I feel like in between every Uber, like we're having. I'm like, "Do you have a podcast? Just start the recorder. Let's."
I know, dude. I was texting with someone earlier, and I said that I had to do this podcast.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do one before this. Like someone like hit me up, said, "Hey, we do this podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like 10 minutes late. There's two of them. One's 20 minutes late.
I was early.
Yeah, I know. It's great. It's
I'm
professional,
punctual,
bro.
man.
Got to be professional.
Who is
It's no one you know.
Oh, okay.
And I just was like, guys, let's do this another time. I don't want to be unprepared for my podcast.
That's so rude to be late to stuff.
They don't know what they're doing.
I'm not a fan of people that are late.
No, it's one of my least favorite. I tell my kids all the time, like, let's go. We're not late. You know why we're not late? It's disrespectful. Let's move.
I agree.
And my daughter one day, so my son will scoot to school. He's 6. And my daughter, we drive because she goes to like a preschool. But sometimes she likes to scoot down, and then we walk back together, and then we drive her.
He takes a scooter to school.
Yeah, he scoots. You know, it's just down the hill.
Cool.
Yeah, it's dope, dude.
That's pretty fucking cool.
It's the cool when we like we're finding a school. You know, LA people are like, well, I don't want to go to that school. What other schools? And I said to my wife, I'm like, we're going to our assigned school, and we're gonna walk to school. That's what we're gonna do.
That's like that almost feels like like New Age Bart Simpson or something. It's badass.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
And so sometimes she'll scoot. And this one morning, I'm like, all right, we're out of here. And she's like, I want to go. And I'm like, we're leaving now. I'm like, go ahead, grab your scooter. She's like, I don't want to scoot. I want to walk with you. I'm like, you want to walk with me? She goes, yeah. I go, all right, you walk at my pace. Because, you know, I got a bigger gait, bro. She's like slow. And I just walked at my speed. She it's like she slow jogged the entire walk to school, and she kept up. She didn't complain, but I was like, "This is how you doing it. We're not going to be late because you wanna tag along."
I like it. I respect that.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. What was I going to say to you? Tag along, dude. You into Girl Scout cookies?
I do. Yeah, I like them.
People sell them in New York. What do they do? What do you get them in New York?
There was a waitress at the Comedy Cellar whose daughter would always sell them. So that's where I would get them usually. But I like what are the ones that are like coconutty?
Yeah, dude, Samoas.
Samoas are the best. Yeah.
If you're not into Samoas, I can't even.
When people are like, it's between Thin Mints and Samoas, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Who's picking Thin Mints over Samoas?
That's what I'm saying. But my wife is, dude.
Really?
Want to go kick her ass?
But that's why it works.
Dude, it's totally.
That's why it works.
She doesn't dip in those Samoas, and when I see those Thin Mints in the fridge, the only time I'm tapping in,
refrigerating them.
She goes freezer. Yeah.
That's frozen candy is the move, man. You freeze a Charleston Chew. I freeze Butterfingers, dude. I freeze them all.
Dude,
you know what I do? I freeze chocolate bars, and I fucking break them up into my ice cream. That's how I do it.
Jesus, you got ice cream at home?
Yeah, I do ice cream at home.
Good Lord, you're living life, son.
You know what I like to do? I do. My girlfriend and I do ice cream cones, and I get sprinkles, and I dip them.
At home?
Yeah. Why do I have to go out for ice cream? I want to have. It's a treat.
Tilt.
I have to lick in front of people. Why can't I just lick at home? I'm a licker. I like to swirl it around the tongue.
Neil Brennan. You know Neil?
I saw him on stage with an ice cream 2 nights ago.
With an ice cream?
He bought an ice cream cone on stage. So then Andrew Santino goes on after him and just brings. He's like, "Someone give me a cheesecake so I can just do it." And no one mentioned it.
Where was this?
Laugh Factory.
Why did he have an ice cream cone?
Because I think he had an ice cream cone and then someone had to switch spots, so he had to go on. He's like, "Well, I'm eating my ice cream."
Dude,
I think that's what happened.
Fucking hilarious. Because he and I was like, hey, I wanted to like pick his brain on some stuff. I'm like, can we just go grab lunch? And he's like, yeah. And so I was like texting him like, when should we grab lunch? And he hit me back and he's like, hey man, how about we just like, can we just FaceTime? And I was like, okay. So we FaceTime and he goes, what's the point? We're gonna go sit lunch. I'm gonna feed salad into my face while I'm talking to you. Like this is better. I'm like, yeah, good point, dude. I'm like, but we could always go get ice cream. He's like, nah, I got my ice cream situation. I go in, I know what I'm getting, I'm out of there. And so he must have grabbed his ice cream over at Salt and Straw.
That's where he was.
Of course, it's the only place to go. He's got his combo that he likes to do.
Salt and Straw is good. I didn't know they had in L.A. I only knew Salt and Straw from doing Portland Helium. It's a Portland thing, isn't it?
I don't know, but
I think it's
the greatest.
Portland started all the good because Portland had Voodoo Donuts, and now that's spread all over everywhere.
Yeah.
They got Salt and Straw. I think that's a Portland thing.
Let me tell you this, though, about Voodoo Donuts. I don't like a donut that's crazy.
Really?
I like a basic.
I think bacon on a donut is badass.
Do
I love
ya?
it because it's just smoky and salty. I mean, it's so naughty. It's like a finger in the butt. It shouldn't be there, but it works. I like it,
dude.
It shouldn't work that way. But
I
it
mean,
works.
why are you not doing marketing for Voodoo Donuts? That might be the greatest thing I've ever heard.
They're
in
like,
my life.
we love it. Run it. Run it on CBS halftime morning show.
Across the country, 14 Voodoo Donuts closed this week after a marketing campaign from. But the salted caramel ice cream at.
It's the best.
It's the greatest ice cream
salted
that's
caramel. How do
ever
we
been
not-
made. No, but I'm talking at Salt and Straw specifically.
I had it there. It was great.
I can't even get ice cream anywhere else.
I like the Van Leeuwen place, and I mean, goddamn, dude, they sell like this. Is my girlfriend's a vegetarian. She's like, she's got lactose intolerance. She's all these things. So she goes, all right, can we just try the vegan? And I threw a sample of the vegan at Van Leeuwen. It's as good, if not better, than regular because they're using like weird. I don't know if they're using like oat milk or almond milk. Which it's fucking delicious.
Let me tell you something about this. If you're trying to get off dairy, oat milk
it's so good.
Is the bomb because it
tastes better than milk.
It's rich and it's got that like weediness to it.
I love it, dude.
I love it too.
We sound like real LA douchebags right now, but I don't care.
I
give stand by it, dude.
Everyone loves ice cream, bro.
I love it, dude. I'm telling you, try Van Leeuwen. I have no stake in this game except it's fucking good. Pistachio is great. Strawberry jam is great. Cookie dough is great.
Dude, I go one ice. I can't ever go another ice cream. So when
salted
as a
caramel
family,
all day?
Salted caramel only at Salt and Straw. I just won't do it. If there's a line, I don't wait in it. I just be like, all right, well, I'm not getting ice cream.
Is there usually a line?
Yeah, there's the one close to me. But like as a family, when we go, all right, we're gonna get ice cream. My son likes to go to this place, Menchie's, which is like a frozen yogurt joint, and you get your own, and like they got like tons of toppings.
That's fun.
He loves to fuck with toppings. Yeah,
toppings are fun, man. Dude, I'll tell you. I remember when we had this pinkberry craze, and it was like 16 handles and all this whole craze, and it kind of like. I feel like we're back at our roots, and it's like regular, like hard scooped ice cream now.
Yeah, it is.
You can never get rid of great ice cream. It's like a great burger. It's here for the long haul.
Oh yeah. Where's your go-to burger spot in New York?
Okay.
Dude, by the way, just so you know, I could talk food.
I'm a food guy. I
all
love food.
Fucking
Who isn't
day.
a food? I hate when people are like, "I'm a foodie." Everyone's a fucking foodie.
Everyone's a foodie.
right?
Shut your
No,
mouth.
I like burger for me.
In
this
New York.
This isn't probably okay. I mean. If it's like if I'm going for like if I'm splurging, Minetta all day. If I'm going just like I want like a cheaper burger, that's still amazing. Paul's. I go way more to Paul's Burger Joint.
Where's that?
St. Mark's.
Okay.
It's called Paul's the Burger Joint. It's fucking amazing.
The only burger I remember in New York was down in like the West Village. It was called like
White Horse.
No, it was called. Oh, I love the White Horse.
That's good burgers.
No, there's like it's further in than that, and it's like a corner bistro.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah,
I love corned beef. Great, just a good hang too. You get a little booth.
Yeah, I just like a simple burger. I don't need much, dude.
Paul's, you would like Paul's.
Greasy.
It's greasy and it's huge. It's
Yeah,
a huge
I like
patty.
greasy, dude.
It's great.
Greasy.
Yeah.
You like a burger on an English muffin?
Yeah, I do. I don't like an overwhelming bun. I'll tell you, I love the burger at the Comedy Cellar. That's where I get the most burgers usually.
Really?
I think they have a great bun.
They got great food there in general.
Great food.
And the Stand, don't they fuck up food?
Dude, I haven't been to the new one as often, but yeah, I've had a couple things. I was there with my boy Joe Mackey, who he's also my arch
Dude,
nemesis.
I just had him on the podcast last week.
He's my arch nemesis too.
Why?
But anyway, well, he's like my oldest friend. I mean,
Yeah.
we just fight a lot.
Yeah.
But we just argue a lot. But so anyway,
I can't picture Joe. Yeah, I told Sam. I fucking love that kid
I'm
so
the only
much.
guy he fucks with, and so we get there and they had like they were like, oh, the pork shop it's the best thing on the menu. And Mackie's like, I'll have a pork shop, and they're like a half or a whole, and he goes, a whole, and then they go, all right, what do you have? Like, I'll have the pork chop too. And they're like, that was the last one. I'm like, fuck you, dude. Every time. He always gets me. Every time, Mackie, dude.
That's hilarious.
Always.
Dude, we cooked a pork chop for the kids last night.
It's good.
You know how I do pork, bro?
How?
Check this out at home. I get a pork loin. I just get like, it's like whatever it is. I soak it in lemon juice.
Damn, I like that already.
Then breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs.
Then I bake it. Not fried. You bake it, and the lemon it's unbelievable. You bake it at like, I don't know, 400 for like 15, 20 minutes, something like that.
Everything's 400, I feel like.
So easy.
400's the magic number.
Yeah, you just throw it in there. You can't.
Yeah.
What can you do wrong?
I love it.
Do you cook?
I have been much more lately. I'm just never home, so
Yeah.
it's hard. It's been hard to cook and get in the groove. I would mostly just. It's gonna sound really sad. I would just like hard boil a ton of eggs.
Yeah.
And just have them whenever I wanted, and then I just, I didn't cook a ton at home, but I was also like just a single road comic. I've been seeing a girl now, so she's been like, let's cook together. It'll be fun. It is fun. I like it.
Yeah, I love it. Dude, so I was at the grocery store one day. Here's my trick to everyone I tell at the grocery store. You can get a dozen eggs, right? And let's just say, like, at my grocery store, I think it's like $6 or $6.99. But you can get 18 eggs, and it's the same price.
How is that?
I don't know why. I don't know why. That at my grocery store. So I'm in line one day, and there's this woman behind me, and I go, she's got like a dozen eggs, and I go, you can go over there and get that same pack of 18 eggs, and it's the same price. And then she goes, really? And I go, yeah. And she goes, why? I go, I don't know. And she goes, but what am I going to do with those 6 eggs? And I go, I'll tell you exactly what you're going to do. You're going to get home, and while you're unpacking your groceries, throw 6 of them in water and start boiling them.
Those
and
are
then
the
you leave
house
them in
money
the fridge, and now you got snacks.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Hard-boiled egg?
What are you
Come
gonna
on.
do with free stuff?
Free
I don't
eggs,
know.
dude. Keep them. I always have had this fascination or want to keep a couple eggs in my car,
Yeah.
just so when someone's a fucking douchebag, which is at least once a day, I can just be like, oh, all right, and go up and like throw an egg and be like, "Sup now, dude? Did you not think someone would have eggs in their car?"
Eggs are maybe the best food because they're just so versatile, man. They can be the star. They could be the supporting player. You throw an egg on a burger, it's nice. You throw an egg in
egg on
in
a pizza.
I love
all
it.
day.
I like to make a little burrito bowl and throw some eggs in there.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some egg in pad thai. Egg is Joe Pesci, man. It can be the star. It can be the supporting player. Egg is the shit.
It is the shit. I got a Caesar salad the other day, and they broke up like a hard-boiled yolk on top.
A runny yolk.
No,
Is it-
this was like a hard-boiled, so it was hard cooked, and then like a
Ooh.
crumble, like a egg crumble on top of my Caesar, dude. Actually, it was
Cesar.
some.
I like that.
What's it like growing up in New York City, bro?
I loved
What'd
it.
your parents do?
My dad's a lawyer. My mom's an artist. My brother and sister are both lawyers now. They're older.
What kind of artist? What kind of art is your mom?
Very abstract. Very cool. I'll show
Medium? Like what? Is she oil based or what?
No, it's paint. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, well, paint can be like either like watercolor or oil based, acrylic.
I think it's oil based. In acrylic, I think. Yeah. I actually.
You really support her craft, don't
I
you?
do. I just don't know the kind of
Yeah, I'm
paint.
just
No, she's amazing. My mom's a great artist.
Now what? Now how does she do that? Like, how do you do that as a living?
Well, she would. I mean, my dad supported.
Yeah,
the family. I mean, as a lawyer, he was, pulling the weight.
But was she like having like exhibits and stuff when you were a kid?
When I was younger, yeah, but
Yeah.
not in a long time.
That's badass, dude.
Yeah, she's very talented. I got a lot of support creatively. Creative. Why am I not speaking properly?
There's some words, dude, that are just tough.
I got a lot of creativity from her, and she's very supportive of,
I bet, yeah.
of it. So it's pretty cool.
But don't you? What kind of lawyer is your dad?
He worked for Viacom, and he'd do a lot of like copyright stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I find I don't know if you're following the debates at all, but what's her face from Minnesota, who's the
Klobuchar?
Yeah, she's like pretty funny. Like she drops some
She's
jokes.
kind of dry, and I think there's a cruelty and bluntness to the way she speaks.
Definitely, yeah.
She
But lawyers, I always think, are funny because it's like you're a wordsmith. You have to manipulate words.
a lot of lawyers became comics.
Yeah.
Or like Greg Giraldo and Dimitri Martin. And
was Giraldo a lawyer?
He went to Harvard Law, and
I knew that.
And he was practicing at, I think, that top firm in the country. I forgot the name of it, but maybe it was a Sullivan and Cromwell or something. Well, he was at a top firm before he left to pursue stand-up, and I think he was. Like I read a book on him, and I remember just thinking, like, oh man, I really relate to his his lack of organization, and just like I'm a mess. Like I can't. It's very hard for me to be organized. Like right now, I need people to send me itineraries every day, or I wouldn't know where I was going. It's too many emails. It overwhelms me.
I do too. I get
it's.
But I have.
But that's a lot of comics, I think.
Yeah, of course. You know what? My mom was very supportive artistically as well. But one of the things that she did for me that, like, I sometimes forget that she's the one who put this in me. When I moved here, she gave me 3 pads of paper. One was a little pad, and it said, "A day in the life of Jay Larson." One was a block like this, and it would say, "A week in the life of Jay Larson." And then another one was a big one. It was a month in the life. And to this day, I make a list, bro, every single day, every night.
Wow.
Like for like what the next day is going to be, to the point where it's pathetic because I got a calendar on my computer, one on my phone. I got lists in my pocket, a list on my notepad. Like I'm not even organized.
I respect comics that still have a notepad.
Yeah, I mean, I got them all over the place.
Notepads, I can't, like, phone. I want to be on my phone less, and I already have to. I use it for everything. I hate being so reliant on one piece of technology.
Yeah.
I like writing. I like the feel of a pen.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like notebook there, notepad there. When I go on stage every night before I do a show, I have to write out like what I think I'm going to talk about, or I just think I'll forget.
Yeah, I'm running a new hour tonight at the Comedy Store, and I'm like, fuck, I got to write out everything. I really have to.
Where are you doing? In the belly?
Belly.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You did that. We did that room together last time you were out.
Yeah, I've done an hour in there before. I really like it.
Yeah, it's a dope
fuck,
room.
I got to get someone to open. Can you do? Are you free?
What time?
8. You're busy though.
Possibly. I got to find out what time that show is.
Find it out. Yeah, if you would do like 20 minutes up top or something.
Oh yeah, that'd be tight.
amazing.
I fucking love that room.
Oh yeah.
That used to be, because like back in the day when I started out, even when I got past there, that was the first club that passed me. Like you would get belly room spots, would be like where you could get the most spots.
I like it.
And I got so comfortable up there. It's intimate. You can like connect. I loved it, especially like storytelling back then, dude. Nobody was into storytelling. Nobody cared. Like they all wanted like jokes. You know what I mean? And so like there were a couple of us.
You really are like I find that some storytellers use it as an excuse to like get away with lazy writing, and I don't think you do that at all. I think you make it a point to be funny throughout, and also your act outs are so funny, man.
Oh,
like,
thanks.
You really I like people like you and Fahim Anwar and stuff who are like so able to commit to an act out, and like it's like the ultimate vulnerability to me. Like you ever watched Nick Vatterott or someone?
Yeah,
Nick Vatterott in New York City, I remember we'd be doing dead shows, and he would commit to bits in a way that was like, people talk about vulnerability on stage, being open and bearing your soul. I was like, no, they got nothing on what he's doing right now, because he's doing the most intense, insane act out. If that doesn't work,
yeah, dude,
it's humiliating. It's silence. Dude. Like I can kind of play off like I don't give a shit when it's a light crowd and be like whatever. You can't do that after you do a crazy. I don't know.
You know what's funny is like.
That.
I don't think anything of it. You know what I mean? Because for me, it's just like, that's just like the only way I can see it is I have to like. I used to do like impressions as a kid. Like I used to crush, and now my only go-tos are Yoda and Elmo with my kids. You know what I mean? Like I do.
What a skill though, man. I mean, your kids are gonna look back and that probably be like, holy shit, my dad was funny. Like that's so cool.
They know. They come in here and they sit there and like, what are you doing? I'm like, I gotta like the last couple nights, like we're getting ready for bedtime, and I'm out here like writing out a set list because I told Kate, I'm like, I can't be doing the same jokes. I need new jokes, and I have like 6 files on my computer of like stand-up jokes that I've just never got to. So I just like, all right, whatever. I'm just putting it down.
Yeah.
And
I hate doing old jokes so much.
Oh,
I'm doing 5 minutes of material on Conan next week. That's from my special, and I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed because I got the set approved like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So I kind of was still working on the special then. and I kind of want to do different jokes, but I'm like, just shut up and suck it up and do the jokes. But
Yeah.
I hate that there are people that are going to be like, he did these jokes in the special, but then the other part of me is like, the special was free, so shut up.
Yeah, of course.
You
And
know?
you just have to, like, I remember the first time I did Conan, they wanted me to do stuff off my half hour, and I was like, yeah, but it was just on my half hour. And JP was like, just think this is your first introduction to these people, or these people may have not seen it, and clearly it was my half hour on Comedy Central. They hadn't.
They found a way to bury those impressively.
Oh my God! But I hear you 100%. Like, I guess anyway, I'm out here the other night. Excuse me, and I hear the door open, and I hear these little feet, and it's my daughter River, and she's like, "Why are you hiding from us?" I'm like, "I'm not hiding from you. I'm writing out stuff for tonight." She's like, "Are they jokes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they're joke." Like, sometimes she says shit that's like, "God, are you like bullying me? Like, you're bullying me." But
There's no kids don't sugarcoat anything.
nothing, dude.
Yeah.
The other day, my wife was out of town. We're FaceTiming with her, and she's in her hotel, and they always want to see her hotel room. Like, so my son's like, "Mom, let me see your hotel." Blah blah blah. We get off the call, and I go to my son. I go, "How come you always want to see Mom's hotel room?" And he goes, "Did you just ask why I love Mom more than you?" And I go, "What?" I go, "No, I didn't ask that." I go, "But well, now that you bring it up, do you?" And my daughter goes, "I do." And I go, "All right." And then my son goes, "I love you both the same, Dad."
Wow,
And
that's
I go,
the right answer.
I go, "Thanks, buddy." And it was so warming. And then he goes, "I just said that because I knew if I didn't, you get upset." And I was like, "Oh my God,
Don't show your work.
How did you? Don't show your work, dude."
Dude, it's so funny, man. Yeah, God, who was it? I don't know if it was my brother was joking around with my niece, or whoever asked, like, who do you like better, your Uncle Sam or your Uncle Greg? And my niece goes, Uncle Greg. And I was like, you knew she was going to answer honestly. Did you
Yeah.
have to fucking do that?
But you know the trick. How old is she?
Now she's like 6 or 7. She's 7 now.
Forget it now.
She's 7.
But
no,
back then, whoever you say second is who they'll say.
No,
'cause
she's 6. She's 6.
6.
Yeah.
In New York?
Yeah.
Is everyone in New York?
My brother and sister in Brooklyn. I'm on the Upper West Side. My folks are in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother is like way out. He's annoyingly far out in Brooklyn.
Like, how far?
By train, it takes me like almost 90 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, people forget. Like, isn't Brooklyn the 4th largest city in America?
I don't know. Brooklyn's
pretty
huge.
sure it is.
Brooklyn's he's got the place is nice, but it's so far out, you know.
Yeah. But what's the neighborhood?
I think it's called South. The name's always changing, but I think it's called South Prospect Park. So it's like on the other side of Prospect Park. It's nice. It's a beautiful area, but it's just so, dude. I'm like, I also just like I spend so many late nights at the Cellar. I'm like, just get me not annoyingly far from the Cellar.
Yeah.
You know.
I used to golf. So we lived in Park Slope, and then we lived in Fort Greene.
You're a golfer.
Yeah.
Do you golf with like Nate Bargatze or Rich Voss or anyone ever?
Bargatze.
Not Voss.
No. I don't know Voss.
No.
No.
Voss is fun. Voss is I did the Impractical Jokers cruise with Rich Voss, and we get off stage, and some crowds were better than others. Obviously, it's a cruise ship, but the Jokers fans, so they knew what they were signing up for. And
how many shows do you do?
A lot. But it's not like you have to be clean. Like, my lineups would be like me, Voss, Yamanika Saunders, Tim Dillon, Ari Shafir. It wasn't clean shows. So then this woman comes up to me in front of Voss and goes, "You are our favorite." And right in front of him. And then Rich goes, "Oh, yeah? Well, your other friends are prettier than you."
Shut up. That's hilarious.
I lost. I was like, that is the meanest. But the fact that he just had it locked and loaded.
Yeah, of course.
Voss is really funny.
Who was telling me the other day, like, someone was telling me how, like, they love Attell. Oh, it was Nate. I just worked with Nate.
Attell's my favorite comic ever, and no one has been better. I'll tell you something about Dave Attell. It's like when I told him I was self-producing my special, immediately he said, "How much money do you want me to put up?" That was his first thing.
Really?
He straight up offered me a ton of money to do it, and the only reason I didn't take it is because there was no guarantee I would make it back.
Yeah.
So I just didn't feel right taking it from someone who's already been like, he's been the most supportive comic.
Nate told me one time someone got up, like, in the middle of his show, like, to go to the bathroom. He's like, "Where you going?" And they go, "Nowhere." And he goes, "No, I mean right now." How unbelievable.
Attell's the quickest. The thing that's insane about Attell is that he is the best joke writer, but he's also the best off the cuff.
Oh, my God. And then Nate told me, I guess, like, it was like after a show and some fan came up and was like, like aggressive and like close on him and like wouldn't get out of his face. And DeRosa was there. And
Yes, Ben Bailey. I remember this story.
yeah, what is he? And he goes,
and they wouldn't stop annoying him. He goes, "Have you met my friend? Stands there and does nothing."
yeah,
He's hit me with so many good burns. I remember I was there on my birthday one night, and Mike Vecchione and I were smoking cigars. I was having a cigar. I never have them, but I was like, Mike. Someone brought.
I like
him, so
Mike.
Mike's an amazing comic as well, but as Dave. But Mike and I were smoking, or maybe it was Greg Warren. No, it was Mike Vecchione. It was Mike Vecchione. We're smoking cigars, and Attell comes out and just pats me on the back and goes, "Sam, you had a good set, but it wasn't that good." He always burns me in like the funniest. I had a breakup once with a comic, and he saw it on stage, and I was riffing about it. I was making jokes about it, and as I got off, he goes, "You all right?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, with you two broken up, who are you going to take to the South by Southwest square dance?"
He's like the guy that like every comic loves outside, like, you know, whoever fans like, everyone's just like, yeah, it tells the dude.
He's my favorite comedian ever, and he also like he was when I was a kid too, and so it's like it's funny people like don't meet your heroes, but he really is like been the coolest. He's been the coolest person to me. Oh, like on my album party, he just showed up and did a set at the end, and then schmoozed my mom. Like just chat with my. I have a picture of Attell chatting with my mom.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. And then and I know he hates that, so it means extra. I know he doesn't want to be. I compare Dave Attell to like a bodega cat, where like you're excited when he shows up, but the second it's gone, you're like, I get it. This is you don't want to be around me.
That's hilarious.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you
gotta
you gotta just. He took me on so many road gigs, and like you just feel like you're learning from a Jedi master. He's the best comic.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I might be wrong because I don't know him super well, but he just seems content with who he is and what he is and how he approaches things.
He's a club comic, you know,
Yeah.
and I relate to that. Like I love clubs. I love doing comedy clubs, and he really he cares so much about jokes, and I relate to that too. I mean, he really will be like, what new jokes are hitting, and I'll tell him that. He goes, what do you have on this? And like he was like, do you have anything on this? And it's
like topical stuff.
Yeah. If it's like a topical bit, he's like, what do you have? He'll do the thing where at the cellar where he's like Sam, come this way, and like we go outside to the steps, and it's like you feel like those steps are like the Dave Attell steps where he smokes a cigarette. So he's. I remember we did a gig once in Terrytown in this theater. It was a beautiful theater in Terrytown, and you know, we're driving back, and he's just the whole drive. He's like, I'm such a fucking hack. He just like, I'm such a hack. And I said, well, we all think you're the best comic ever, me and my friends. He goes, well, I'm better than you guys.
I'm not comparing myself to you.
Yeah. No, but he just, he knows how to make me laugh. Like, and he's such a really good dude. He really is.
I mean, I only knew him for that little bit that when I lived in New York, and I was like, I would do shows with him a lot of comics.
Yeah.
And he was just like the coolest guy. And I remember he was like, you know, like those dudes you meet that are like famous, but like they're so down to earth when they talk to you, and you're like, oh man, how freaking nice are you? He was so nice.
He is the best person. Like that's kind of the thing, that like it doesn't matter who he's talking to. He's so he doesn't suffer fools. I mean, like if you're wasting his time, I mean, that's the thing with someone who I think is like a real comic genius that Dave is like if you say something stupid, he can't, like he'll make you pay. He'll say something, he'll say the wittiest thing afterwards. Yeah. You know, but you know, he really. I remember driving. We did a weird gig. Attell and I did a weird gig once, and so I was opening for Dave Attell and Jeff Ross just when they started that Bumpin' Mics thing in a casino in Bethlehem, and it was like such a good gig, dude. It was such like the crowd was on fire. And
P.S. Casino gigs are the worst, but if they're there specifically for the show, they can be great, which is clearly.
We did the Borgata the next night, and they weren't good. I think they can still be bad. Even there's something about casinos that's like not good. But
you know what it is usually the people there have just lost money,
right?
And they're like, "Fuck, what can we do to entertain ourselves without losing more money?" Oh, there's a comedy show. You know what I mean? Or unless it's like those gigs, like when Jeff, you know, they have the space, so people, you know, the casino needs entertainment to attract people in, so they'll gamble. For shows like that, people are going to see them.
Yeah, and Jeff is from Jersey, so I think, you know, they definitely had people out, but they just weren't. I don't know. Sometimes casinos, I've opened for big acts in casinos, and they're never as good. The crowds are never as good. I
Never.
think a lot of high rollers get comps in the front, and they just don't care.
Yeah.
They're not the real fans. The higher the ticket, like sometimes you don't want a free ticket
No.
because they don't give a shit. They have no investment. But sometimes when the ticket's really high, they're just like, I'm rich. Who gives a shit? This is nothing
and
to me.
this is an important night for us. We spent a lot of money. You better blow expectations out of the water.
That's a good point. Yeah, I just think, it wasn't. But then Bethlehem, they're like a real kind of cool blue-collar town in Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah, I know Bethlehem.
It's really they're just great for comedy. And then Dave and Jeff are just so different on the road, and they're both so fun in, like, different ways, you know? Jeff is, like, kind of more like, everybody come, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone come out. And Attell is more just like, Sam, come here, let's go. Like, Jeff is stopping taking pictures of everyone. Attell is like, he takes pictures, but he's also trying to get away.
Begrudgingly, yeah.
Yeah, so, but he's so nice to fans. I mean, he does take pictures with everybody, but he is trying to get away. So I remember Dave and I that night, he said, let's drive to the next casino. And it was late, and it was St. Patrick's Day. There were, like, bad drivers on the road.
Yeah.
And we got lost at one point. There was no service, and Attell just turns to me and he goes, "This is hill people country." And we drive through a tunnel when we're getting closer to AC. There was a dude running in just underwear. He's just in underwear, no shirt, no pants, underwear, and a cowboy hat, and he's just running the opposite way. And we're just like, what is going on?
What is going on?
Where are we? It's like St. Patty's in AC. This ain't safe.
No.
And it turned into one of those nights where we just gambled all night. And we
Yeah.
both won big.
Nice.
And it's like, damn, I don't gamble really. So it was like kind of like, fuck it, I'll put down like $100-$200 and see what happens. And we just kept winning.
Blackjack?
Yeah, both of us just kept winning. And we got there, and then I remember at one point, you know, no one there knew who Dave was, weirdly, because it was like just late night people at a thing. But he was making people laugh in a way that, like, you're like, this is incredible. Like,
but
he's making strangers laugh who don't want to laugh right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like he's that funny.
Yeah, for sure.
To the point where some guy said to me, he's yelling at me, you don't hit on that. You don't hit at that. And Dave goes, thanks, Professor.
It's funny when you're, like, on the road, because we all go to the road on our own.
Yeah.
But then you go with other people, like, so me, Thune, Scoville, and Bargatze all did, like, a show together in Nashville.
That's a cool show.
It was dope.
Yeah.
And we were all like, let's all golf one day, and then we'll do this show.
All of you golf?
Yeah, we all golf.
Wow.
I mean, I golf with Rory the most.
None of my comic friends golf, I don't think.
Dude, Rory and I created a golf show.
Really?
Yeah. But, like, Nate, so I just did two dates with Nate last weekend, and he's like, we got to do one where we go out and we bring the clubs, and, like, we'll, like, plan the tour so that, like, we're golfing every day. I'm like, yeah.
That is a dream.
I'm like, he's, like, addicted. Like, he's in it.
If you're
deep.
into that, setting up a tour to do things you like.
Yeah. So he was like, I go, dude, how many lessons? You're just taking lessons every day? He's like, yeah, I'm just really getting into it. And I was like, geez. He goes, you know what my goal is? And I go, what? He goes, to beat you. That's my only goal right now.
Are you really good?
I mean, I'm good. I'm not playing as much as I used to, but, like,
but you're better
I'm
than
like
him.
a 7 handicap is
I don't know
what
what that means.
It means if I was going to play golf, like, I would get 7 strokes. Put it this way. That's pretty good. You know what I mean? As far as, like, golfers, like,
so he is training to beat you.
That's what he says. Because every time I've ever played with him, I beat him.
Yeah.
And we played together. We went down this really nice course about an hour south of here last time he was out, and, like, I beat him, and he still can't let go of it. And I was like, so we were on this tour, and I go, by the way, bro, we were, like, pretty evenly matched until 17. You had that blow up hole, and he's like, I know. And I was like, well, relax, because I'm sugarcoating it. I did smoke you, but, like, but he's, like, crazy and deep. But, like, when we're in Nashville, so, like, you know, you split up the duty when you're on the road together, right? So we said to Rory, we're like, me and Thune got the Airbnb. We went to the grocery store. We stocked the place. We made dinner. We made cocktails. So when we're driving to the golf course, we're like, hey, Rory, you're going to drive, all right? We've been doing it. He's like, all right. So we're driving. I'm in the back. Thune's in the passenger seat. And Rory is driving, but then he's got his maps out, okay? How do you follow maps?
Not well.
What do you do?
I use my phone. I don't use...
Same with me. But what do you do? Do you pull it up and then follow the directions?
No,
do you like a line by line?
I look at the little moving blue thing, the blue pin.
And you just follow it?
Well, wait for drive. I don't drive.
Oh, okay.
I'm a New York City kid, man.
Okay, that's a good
I have
point.
a pity license.
That's
I
a
got a
good point.
license. I failed 2 driving tests, and then
Holy-
where do I practice in New York? I took a
I
couple
know,
lessons.
That's true. That's
I mean,
true.
so you don't get good at driving. So I failed 2 tests. And then the third one, I just got a woman who found me funny. So I just walked in. I said, immediately said, please don't fail me. I failed twice already. And she laughed. And I was like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
I knocked over a cone. She still passed me. Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm good.
Well, we're sitting there, and Rory's, what he does is, so like you pull up, you go in, you pull up your directions. It tells you it's going to be like this to this. And then it's got your map, and then it also, like, you can either do like the lines where it says you're going to do this next, or you can just follow the map where it shows you, and then you see it like coming up. What this cat was doing is he puts in the directions, and then it's like it shows you this from here to here, one line, and he left it on that, and then would go close in to where the blue dot was going, and then when he got to that point, he would do that thing, and then the thing, then he would move the map to where it was going, and then he kept. It's insanity, dude. We almost crashed like 3 times on the highway, and Thune and I, we just started berating him. We're like, "What are you doing, bro?" And he's like, "What? I'm trying to drive." We're like, "Who is following maps like that?" Like, we still can't.
But Rory's a great improviser, and he was trying to improvise. That's what he did.
He is a very good improviser, but it was just like. Anyway, that's the whole like that's the fun of like being on the road with other comics is like we all do it our own way, and then when you got to be with everyone else and you're like, oh, this is how you do it? Nah, dude, I don't do this.
Being on the road with friends, man, it's like that's the thing is like
I wouldn't call Rory and Nate.
I mean, when Amy Schumer was out, there was a couple gigs she brought me and Mark Normand on. I was like, oh my god! And she brought Rachel Feinstein. I mean, those are like Rachel and Mark are like 2 of my best friends, so it was pretty crazy. And then like I went out with Aziz a decent amount last tour, and there's a couple gigs I'm there with like Phil Hanley, who's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
You know, Mateo Lane. We're just like we're having the most fun.
That's tight. Yeah.
And you're like it's rare. It's rare to get to do that. So you got to really you know. I guess a lot of people don't know how much we're out on our own.
Yeah,
so.
Of course, especially like. You know, until you can like take your own feature, you know what I mean? That's like the huge when you're like,
it's nice.
The clubs don't get any club that doesn't let you bring a feature. You're like, what are you not getting?
Here's what I want to tell them. I'm bringing someone much better than you're gonna book.
Of course.
I'm bringing someone who's done a ton of shit.
Of course.
I try to bring Dina Hashem on the road a lot, who's such a great joke writer, and I mean, she got so many good jokes, and she's done Conan. She's done like. Big roast battle clips. She's done so much stuff, and she really. I mean, she's gonna blow up anyway. But I'm just saying, like, whenever I bring them, they're grateful, and they're like, "Wow, you open." She's a joke I love where she said I was on a date with a guy, and everything I said he would turn into sex. So he'd be like, "What kind of music do you like?" And she goes, "I know it's corny, but I love the Beatles." And he goes, "Which Beatles song would you fuck me to?" And she goes, "Help." It's a great joke.
Yeah. I do the same thing, but I always try to bring Rojo Perez. I love Rojo.
Yeah, Rojo's great.
And he's like, here's the other deal. So in one club was like, now you can't bring in we book our own feature. I'm like, all right. They booked a different feature for each night. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Which means as a headliner, I got to go watch them every night. Because I got to know what they're doing, what they're talking about, in case like we have something that crosses over. You know what I mean? Whatever. Right. It's like when I go on the road with Rojo, I know exactly what he's gonna do, and
he's an energy you're comfortable following. They also don't understand that like this is I'm not just taking my set into account. I'm taking the whole show into account.
Yeah.
Dina makes it so the audience listens, and that makes my set better too. You want someone who plays well up. She's low energy. The writing's very strong.
Yeah.
You want someone who's
going to lead into you.
Where you both are good for each other in a way on a show.
Yeah, of course, dude. God, I feel like there was a couple things I was going to ask you about. Where'd you shoot the special, by the way?
I shot it at the Comedy Cellar in New York City. It was in the Village Underground around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they have just 3 clubs now?
Kind of similar to the Comedy Store, right? They have a smaller room called the Fat Black Pussycat. They have, which is like their belly room, I guess. Yeah. They have the Village Underground, which is a little bigger, and then they have the classic. It's actually very similar to the Comedy Store.
But they're all different locations, right?
Well, no, the Fatback Pussycat is upstairs.
From the cellar?
No. It's upstairs from the Village Underground.
Okay, yeah.
Those are both around the corner from the cellar.
Yeah.
So no, it's the same block.
Yeah.
You're on the same block.
That's tight.
I love it, man. Liz is the manager of the Comedy Cellar, Liz Furiotti, and she really is like the MVP in a way where you're like, oh man, this place runs because of her. She doesn't take days off. It's like I'm kind of like, all right, yeah, I'm grateful the Cellar's the best place for me, but it's also like I want you to be healthy, so you gotta sleep some points.
What do you got? You have any hobbies you do outside of comedy?
I like to play hoops sometimes. When you said Rojo, I'm like, I played ball with Rojo. He's So I love playing basketball, just like get some
like
exercise.
A power forward?
I mean,
as far as rec league goes.
As far as rec league goes, maybe more of like a small forward. I don't know. I'll play it like a 90s small forward, like in the post, more like I'll hit a fading bank shot on you. But
did you go anywhere after Tulane?
I went to NYU in the city.
Okay, yeah.
I finished up, but I was ready to drop out. My parents were like, "That's not happening." So I was flyering on the side for stand up. I was doing a lot of other stand up on the side. And
at what age? You knew you wanted to do stand up that young?
I started at like 18, 19 probably.
That's
awesome. I was in the city, so I did a class. I've told this story on so many podcasts. I'll do a short version of it, but I did like a class of the comic strip that D.F. Sweedler taught. And I didn't know what else to do. By the way,
that is like one of my favorite rooms as far as
Classic.
layout goes.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And I used to when I moved to New York, that's where I met Joe Mackey. I would do the late night spots.
Joe Mackey was in the class with me. He's still one of my best friends.
Hey, pal.
Dude, he was funny out of the gate. I hate to give it to him, but he was really funny. I was really like, wow, this guy's good. And we hit it off immediately. I think we both could just sense that the other one just like loved jokes. So I think there was like a instant kind of bond between us. And then there was that weird, when you kind of like, I don't know if this happened for you, but I think this happens a lot, where you kind of meet a guy, you kind of hit it off, but then you're both so new to comedy that you kind of go your separate ways for a few years. And then we kind of met back at Comic Strip. Like I'd still see him around, and I ran a show for a while, so I'd book him on the show all the time. And we'd catch up, but we kind of became we were friends, but then we became really close, having to do late night at the Comic Strip.
Yeah.
Where,
that's where I met him, doing late night there. When I moved there,
you wait like 3 hours for the show to be over.
I moved there with 5 TV credits, and I couldn't get like any shine, which I now understand. I'm like, okay, they don't know me, and so I'd sit around there and wait till late night because I lived around the corner. That's where we lived, Upper East Side, when I first moved there. Anyway, what were you saying? Oh,
well, yeah,
I
took that class, and a lot of people shit on classes, but I'll be honest, like I was doing open mics that were just pretty painful, so to do a class where people were kind of supportive and listened was pretty meaningful at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's, the guy DF, he didn't make any. A lot of these classes were like, give me like 6 months, I'll get you on Letterman. He didn't make any promises. He just kind of encouraged me to write cleaner, which was so helpful actually, because my instincts were to be dirty and to get the quick laughs. And he was so helpful in that. He said, like, look, it's easier to start clean and then be dirty later if you want than to be dirty and then to go clean.
For sure.
He said, just know you can write clean. And I said, well, how about David Tell? And he goes, he can write clean. I said, okay.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, I worked clean for 9 years.
Yeah.
So I started, and then I did a weekend with Brian Regan, and I was like, whoa.
I know.
What? And then I went clean. I still had
Regan's so cool
a little more attitude, than an edge. Like Regan is like crystal clean. Gaffigan clean. Bargatze.
Gaffigan, you know what's cool about Gaffigan now is that he's gotten kind of darker. It's still clean, but it's like there's like an edge to it. The way like you watch an old 30 Rock episode and you're like, oh, this is clean, but it's like there's a bite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Gaffigan has got that bite. Like his new special, the stuff about true crime, you're like, oh, dude, he's like, there's a darkness to Gaffigan that I appreciate.
Yeah, that's great because like, life has darkness, you know what I mean? So like I think Nate was even saying he's like getting a little darker in his comment. And dude, I just did his 2 shows. They're all ages.
Yeah.
There was a 10-year-old at the show.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So you got to like, there's so much you have to look into. And you're like, all right, how do I like,
Well, Nate is definitely on that path to be like, not just like, it's incredible how he works clean, but also like he's on that path to be like one of the greats, I think.
I mean, dude, he is just funny.
Yeah.
Just the way he delivers.
I've always respected him so much.
If you read his jokes, sometimes you would be like, okay. But like his delivery and the way he says it, like,
and that's why he's so great, because no one can imitate that.
No, not even close. Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's so some of his bits. You're just like, well, I respect it so much because I'm like, well, this was clearly worked out. because of what you just said. Like, he didn't just write this and was like,
No.
this is funny. He talked out a lot of this.
Yes.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, his words are deliberate. I mean most of our words are deliberate, but well, dude, this is fun, man. I'm so glad you had a chance.
I hope I didn't ramble too much about Dave Attell and how much I love him.
No, because I think sometimes, like, dude, I meet like younger comics now, and I'll bring up things. I'm like, oh, like even to you, I'll say like movies. Have you seen this? And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh, that was like a go-to for me. So there are people that are comedy fans, and they might be like, who?
I'm gonna watch The Town. You told me to watch. You and your wife told me to watch The Town. I'll watch it.
I'm telling you, bro, you're gonna watch that and be like, oh.
I have no doubt. Sometimes I see so many movies, but every once in a while, one will slip through the cracks. And I think that year, that was one that.
Oh.
Because I think that year, that was like when I was really going hard at like shitty shows.
Yeah.
'Cause it was like what, 2007 or 8.
2010.
2010. Yeah, but that's like when I was like really kind of doing everything I could. So
Yeah.
I think that was. I missed a few that year for sure.
Yeah. Well, you got to report back. Check out his special and follow him on social media. I appreciate you coming by.
Thanks for having me, dude.
You got it, man.